Hey there, Facebook, LinkedIn, social media, YouTube, wherever this is. I'm back with another video with one of our faculty for the AJC Coaching Career School. And I'm pleased to welcome my good friend, hilarious guy, really, really great entrepreneur, Amir Karkouti. Hey, Amir.
Hi, good to see you again. And for those that don't know, I still have not met Ankush. I have not met him. How many years has it been? It's been
We
like,
have known each other for many, many years. It must be nearly 10 years now. And somehow we have not met in person. And yet we're great friends.
it's amazing. This like the longest distance relationship, but I feel so close to you in my heart. It's amazing.
I feel the same way. I feel the same way. Well,
Fair enough.
I'm really glad that you said yes to come back and do a masterclass. Let me tell you guys who Amir is. You run multiple businesses. You are one of the funniest people I know. You also do coaching, and here's the thing, your coaching and your metaphors are so profound and they're always different. Every time I speak to you, I don't know what you're going to say, and it's always fantastic. Your masterclass that we did last time, we had people in the school saying if the only thing they got out of the school was your masterclass, it was worth the whole price of the
Wow.
school, and that's really true. People were so profoundly impacted by what you had to share. So I'm really happy that you said yes, that you came back. I know you don't do a ton of stuff like this. You're very selective about what you do. So it's a huge honor and acknowledgement, I think, for the school that you agreed to come back. I'm excited just to talk to you a little bit today around, some of your latest thoughts that would be useful for coaches.
Yeah, absolutely. So just to thank you as well for bringing me back. That is a definite honor. I'm seeing the energy, the excitement, the community that you have built is unheard of in our industry. I'm telling you, I'm not saying this as a friend. I'm saying this. We were talking before we recorded. What he's created is unbelievable. And it's not surprising though. And I'm going to kind of unpack what I think is happening. And maybe I might be wrong, but I'll tell you, we're going to have this amazing dialogue because I've actually not coached as much as I used to, but I have multi-million dollar businesses that I run day in and day out, and it transfers over what I've done in my coaching, those skills and the ideas, they transfer over. So one thing that I remember a long time ago, I remember when you go to banks, you can do drive-through banking, right? Where you don't have to get out of your car. Well, it turned out that that idea came from what? Came from drive-through restaurants. And so one of the things that I've learned, and it's really useful for everybody here, is you don't have to get all your ideas from just listening to coaches, right? The banker that went, wait a minute, that McDonald's over there, they have a drive-through and they don't have to get out to get their food. Why do people have to get out to do their banking? And look at that, from a completely different industry, a whole idea came out. So I'm going to talk about things for the next few minutes, 20, 30 minutes or whatever it is. And it's going to be based on things outside of coaching, but it's going to be relevant. And I hope you guys enjoy it. And somehow it always works out.
Dude, I'm so excited because you've picked on something that I know I've never spoken about. We actually don't have drive-through banking in the UK, but what a great idea. But it's interesting because all my friends pretty much are business owners and none of them are coaches. They're my friends from university, and I always learn from them, and I'm always looking at things I can take from other industries. So this is great. Love this already.
Absolutely. Well, cool. I wanted to start off with talking about something that's really personal to me, which many years back, I took a drug that really messed me up. And with that, it messed my endocrine system up. So I was gaining like unusual weight around my body. I couldn't lift weights. I couldn't sleep properly. I had suicidal ideation. Then 5 years later, after years of studying this stuff, I ended up I'm on testosterone replacement, right? That and some thyroid medication. Yeah, the whole thing doesn't matter what it is. The bottom line is that with what I'm on, I'm an incredibly different person. I have one of my closest friends who we both went on a similar journey. And when he told me that, look, you look great, but you're cheating, you're on all these like hormones and yada, yada, yada. I went, okay. So one day he came to me and he said, hey, I want to get on this stuff too. And then I looked at his results, blood work, and he actually needed to be on it. And I said to him, but before you get on what I'm on, you need to work on bettering yourself right this moment, not after you think that once you get on these drugs, start dieting and stuff like that. Start working on it now. And he said, oh, no, testosterone, it'll lean me out and all this stuff. Well, long story short, he gained about 30 pounds over what he was, 20 to 30 pounds, I believe. He gained a significant amount of weight. And me and him, we mess around all the time like you on Kush, where, if it was you and I would be like, what's going on with you? What I realized what people do, and they do it in coaching too, they make the ordinary extraordinary. What I mean by that is every time I see him now, once a week, once a month, whenever it is, he'll hug me and go, Amir, today is the day that I'm going to start eating right, walking and exercising. That's very ordinary for me. Like, that's not really exciting for me. The ordinary things is what, when you do it for a long amount of time, it looks extraordinary for other people. Like what Ankush has right now, he's created an amazing school. But I have a guess and I have a feeling that he's just done a bunch of ordinary things to get there. Yes, service is extraordinary, but a service can simply be sitting with someone for 10 minutes and listening to them like no one ever has. Now, from that point of view, if you saw that on a video, you'd say, yeah, Ankush is a really good listener, right? Or he sends out a book. It's a very ordinary thing to do. But when you send out a book that means something to you and it may mean something to them, it eventually starts to look extraordinary. See, what I think what people do in the coaching world, and I think, and in real life, that coaching isn't real life, but what I mean is outside of that profession, is they make things that are ordinary extraordinary, and it diminishes the value, right? Like, I don't go around saying, I'm going to work out today. I'm going to go on a walk with my wife. I just go on walks. I just eat right. And then a year comes down and I just took a DEXA scan. I found out I'm at 11% body fat. That's actually extraordinary. But looking back, I'm like, I fasted a little bit. I eat a lot of protein and I sleep and I go on walks. Now, what does this have to do with coaching? Because coaching tries to get you to do a lot of extraordinary thing. If you go scroll down your Facebook, make 6 figures in 2 weeks, right? So you go, oh, that's extraordinary. That's what I should be doing. Take this course and you'll be a multi-billionaire within a month or whatever, or like, have a stream of income or a stream of clients. And when it starts to sound like the thing you need to do is going to be extraordinary right off the bat, you're probably going in the wrong direction. I have a feeling if you go to Ankush's school, he's going to talk about make phone calls, meet people, make phone calls, sit down with people, talk with people, and then enroll. And what that enrollment looks like is service, and then more service, and see what people need. And eventually you start to go, but is there something more to that? Yes, there is. So what you have to do, if that took a long time, do more calling, do more enrolling, go sit down and become better and better and better at coaching, because that's what it all ends up becoming. A lot of little bit of ordinary things that become extraordinary. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Ankush, if I'm looking at it from a different angle, if you want to add something to that.
Yeah, you're remarkably accurate, both in 2 ways. One is it's been a bunch of really small things to get me here. And that's even before I became a coach. I was involved in personal development for 11 years and it felt really slow, but it's like, look back over 10 years, then see the difference. Or I remember someone said to me once, never judge your progress in increments smaller than 1 year. Always taken that to heart to say, okay, well, it might be a tough day or a tough month, but look, where am I in a year's time? Is that better than where I am now? And that's the approach I've taken to coaching. But you're right. It's also what you said about the school. It's not some superhuman thing. It's about simply doing the doable, as Steve Chandler says. It's about, like you say, getting into conversations with people. It may include calling people, it may not, but it's like having conversations, being of service, having more conversations, being more of service. And it's away from a lot of stuff I was taught, So I just say to people in the school, just get full. And I've also, one of the things I've said to people is no one cares what you think you're worth, right? And this as a business owner, you can think your restaurant, oh, this is worth $1,000 a plate. Well, if no one's coming into your restaurant,
that's right.
Well, no, it's not. It's the same thing with your coaching. Well, I paid my coach all this money, so I think my thing is worth £10,000. Well, if no one's paying you, then it's not. And one of the things we talk about in the school is, again, just be ordinary. The market will tell you what it's worth. Well, fine. If the market's telling you your coaching is worth $50 or £50, that's where it is per session. If it's 100 or 200 and whatever into a package, well, wherever you're at, start there, fill up your coaching practice, get better at coaching, get more experience, get more referrals, and then keep growing it step by step. And what you'll see is way quicker than you realize, your income and impact will grow and grow and grow and grow. It's not some crazy trick or technique or overnight thing, but it's also not as long as people think it might take.
Yeah, and that's one of the beautiful things about the marketplace. It's the most brutal place to be and the most gentle place. And what I mean by that, it's 100% truthful. It tells you when you're too high in your market. It tells you if you're not qualified. It tells you if you're overly qualified. It tells you everything moment to moment. So if I go to somebody and I spend 3 minutes with them and I say, you should work with me, and I charge you $150,000 every 10 minutes, I could do that. The marketplace doesn't stop me from doing it. That's the beautiful thing. But the marketplace will definitely let me know if that value corresponds with reality. It's a beautiful place to be. And that doesn't matter whether you're a coach, whether you're a restaurant owner like me, a business owner, whether I, with my rental properties, I have a couple rental properties. If I tell someone, yeah, to stay here is going to cost $100,000 a month, it'd be empty, right? The marketplace is a beautiful place and it decides. Now, the cool thing about our industry, it's very, very one-on-one. It's very, very, the relationship is right in front of you, right? When I'm serving food, they might say to me, oh yeah, the food is great, walk out and leave. And I will never know if actually they like the food, didn't like the food, was it too cold, too warm, were the portions big? You have an opportunity, and that's what's amazing as a coach. You can call them and say, yeah, I haven't heard from you in a couple of weeks or a week or 3 days. What's on your mind, right? I don't have that luxury. And what a gift to start, if you're a new coach, to utilize that part of the coaching business or profession that we're in, to be able to use that. But what do? We're afraid and we don't do that, or we stop ourselves because we don't want to be pushy. This is not about being pushy. This is not about anything else but continuing being comfortable enough in your skin to bring yourself to become a professional coach and have the hard conversations, have the unusual conversations, and open up dialogue. And I will open up to what I was going to say next, right? I've been getting really into religion. I'm not very a religious person, but I've always wanted to know, like, why do people pray, right? And I thought because growing up as an atheist and a non-religious person, I always thought, oh yeah, if prayer works, why are people dying in countries or yada? And I realized I was looking at it in a wrong way. And I'm sorry if this is going to get too deep, but this is very important. If there was a God, and I'm not sure if there is, but if there was a God, I'm assuming when you pray, it's not like a gumball machine where you're praying and saying, I want the pink gumball. And then you hope that it comes. You go, oh, God answered my prayer. I read something from Soren Kierkegaard. He was a philosopher who wrote about a lot of religious stuff. And he said the function of prayer is not to influence God, but rather to change the nature of the one who prays. And another way of looking at it is the prayer does not change God, but it changes the one who offers it. I lost 6 figures just recently in a Ponzi scheme. And I actually sat down next to my bed and I prayed for the first time ever. I didn't know who I was praying to, what I was going to get. And something happened. I don't know if someone answered my prayers, but I had a shift of who I am before the prayer. Something in me shifted. Now, if you're in the 3 principles, then you know that you can get wisdom and insight at any moment. And that shift changes you, right? In people who are meditators, when you meditate, that shift changes you. And it turns out that when someone you enroll decides to get coaching from you before they even work with you, that shift of them signing that contract or giving them that dollar changes them so fundamentally that before you even work with them, their world changes. Now, why am I saying this? Because this profession is as godly as it can be in human form. This is such an important profession that we don't actually see how profound it is. I remember when Ankush went and flew all the way from UK to Arizona, and I spoke to him, and I promise you, him getting on that plane changed him. Him signing up with Hardison changed him before he even worked with him. And I'll let you speak to that. But I want to make it very clear, you guys, whoever's getting into this profession, this is a big deal. This is a valuable, incredible space to be in. And I'm not saying that you are a god, and that's why I'm saying that the relationship between client and coach is a profound relationship. It's an incredible thing that I don't know any other relationship that's this profound, where besides the religious one, what I was mentioning, where that the minute they decide to open up a capacity that they didn't know that was available to them and give that offering to you, their world will change already. Now, why do I say this? Because this profession isn't about 6 figures in 2 weeks or how to get clients in your business, unlimited clients by using this social media tactic. You are devaluing the person in front of you, devaluing the people that are in your group if you own a school or whatever you have. And that's why every time I talk to Ankush, I see that he actually, every single time he says, I just enrolled more people in my group. I just got people that came from the last group come in. He's not saying that as an ego thing. He's saying that because he's saying, I found the profoundness in this profession. I found the profoundness of the person that's in front of me, and they see this profoundness of it. And now we get to do this again. And when you see this profession from that space, you will make money, not because money flows in because you're asking for it. It's because now the value that they see in you, you have to do some sort of exchange. You have to do some sort of give and take because there's not enough time in a day where you can spend time with your children, your wife, for yourself, go to the gym. So now you have to do some sort of exchange. You will have more time for yourself because you find yourself and you value yourself because you know you're profound. And a profound place to be is to give yourself time to settle because the person that might come in an hour from now, your client, they have the fundamental right to have 100% of you when you're working with them. So when you come to this profession, and when I say profession, not just this profession alone, but when you and if you go to a school, there are not that many schools that I would put my stamp of approval on, but that profoundness that I've been looking for, I'm seeing in schools like Ankush's. And it's such a gift because it's not just the school for me, Ankush, and I wanted to make this really clear for you, is I see what you have created and there's the spirit of what you've created with the comments and the videos and the things that people are writing. This is different, you guys. And if you guys want to see what a coach should look like and act like, or as they're growing in their profession should feel like, go and see what some of Ankush's clients have done. Watch some of their videos, read some of their blogs. It will sound and feel different than 99% of what's out there in the world right now. And if more people can coach from that space, this world is in for a treat, 100% in for a treat.
Amir, you're really speaking to my heart here. And I don't know, some people may land with some people it might not, but I really see it that way. This is such a profound profession. You know, you've had your language to describe it, but for me, I remember one of the first coaching sessions I ever had, and I walked away and I was like floating to my car because I was like, man, if I get to, for a living, speak to people and impact them with something I've said that may change their entire life or the direction of their life, wow, I get paid to do that. That's amazing. Yeah. And it is really, really profound. And funnily enough, that was one of my first coaching sessions. Recently, I had a client and we had a conversation about something, I won't say what, very personal. And I know potentially that one conversation may change the entire trajectory of his life and his family's life. And for me, it's like, that's worth more than any amount of money in the world. And so I really treat this profession with such high esteem. And for me, this school, it's like a vessel. It's something that is helping me raise the profession up. And that's really what's changed since we spoke a year ago to promote the law school. It's like, it's not a school anymore. The school's part of it, but I'm on a mission to help raise the profession because it is so profound. It is so sacred. It is so special. And I think, unfortunately, and I include myself, I hadn't seen it as that originally. And I want this profession to be so impactful and lucrative for people that when people find out, oh, you're a coach, it's like someone saying you're a doctor, right? To have the same level of respect for that. But I want to really be mindful of the time. I'm trying to keep these to 20 minutes. So I mean, this is just amazing. And I can't wait for us to do our masterclass later this year because I know we're going to get 2 hours. There's going to be so much come out of it. I could literally talk for an hour about so many little things you've just said. And again, you're so insightful and you've picked out things that we haven't even spoken about. But thank you so much for all of your acknowledgements and thank you for everything you've said today.
Yeah, thank you. And again, I'm looking forward to the masterclass. I'm looking forward to the changes that'll come out of it. And for those that listen, thank you so much. I'm parsing a lot of this out in real time. So I may go back and say, what was I talking about? But see if you can get whatever you can from these talks. Listen to all of them. I know you're going to do more of these, right?
Yeah.
And thank you so much for having me. This was incredible as always.
Thanks, Amir. Take care.